The elites in Hollywood are sighing a breath of relief as it now looks like the list will never appear. The new media outraged, demanding for justice and transparency. It is a moment that could divide the movement of the new media forever. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Today we're talking about the island. Yes, that island. And we're talking about somebody who was Epstein. Now he is dead as a doornail. But folks, that doesn't tell the tale. And people want to know who should be going to jail. Yet the clients are unlikely to ever see justice. Click the like button here on this video, folks. We're going to tell you why Hollywood is the real winner and you are the loser in the Epstein case. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this. This is from Elon Musk. And we must cover this because Hollywood is breathing a little bit easier tonight and today. I'm not saying hip hip hooray though, and I know many of you out there have your own opinions about Elon Musk. You are unhappy, some of you, with the tryst he has now with the Trumpster. Some of you are saying, well, now wait a minute. We didn't like him on the left, and some of you out there are saying, oh, he's come back to some other place that I like. Maybe you're pro-American party. We're not going to touch any of that. That's not the topic. This meme is too much. We have to show it on the screen. Elon Musk posts this about Epstein. It's a guy being dressed up as a clown. It says, we will release the list. Then it says, we just need more time. The list is on my desk. And then there is no list. That is what has essentially happened with the DOJ now and the FBI and everybody in between all saying there's no list anymore. Let me go, though, to The Guardian from 2024 because Epstein boasted of spurious celebrity connections. Documents show, but the documents ain't there no mo. It goes on to talk about the braggadocio of the guy, the island man. I want to go to the panel quickly, though. I don't want to stray too long into the details here because everybody out there kind of knows them. Marvin, we anticipated earlier in the year that we would get some info about this. They brought some of the folks from the new media, I guess who they perceived to be the up and comers, the risers, to the White House. They gave them some silly looking folders. They came out, held them up, said that was the Epstein stuff. Now months later, there's nothing, nada, and you're not going to get any more. Marvin, how happy must Hollywood be right now, the elites of the world, that they're escaping judgment?
I think they're about as happy as the rest of the world is infuriated by this. I have to really give it to the Justice Department because they actually united the entire country for the first time in probably my lifetime. Because I don't think there is a single person who saw that announcement and didn't go, what? Because it's absolutely ridiculous. And yes, there are a lot of Hollywood elites right now who are breathing a sigh of relief. In the same week that the Didster was pretty much guaranteed to go home and enjoy his life as a free man for the rest of it. We also now have the rest of Hollywood who might have been held accountable for their actions completely being able to skate and walk free. It is, I don't think that if there is a single person on the planet who saw this news and was like, oh, wow, that's really shocking, but I 100% believe it, then I would love to meet them because I've got some beachfront property in rural Kansas to sell them.
Yeah, now listen, folks accuse us all the time of being political. Folks, I think this is a great chance for you to see that's simply not true. We hold either side accountable and we try to stay specifically in the lane of entertainment. And in this case, Hollywood was going to be dramatically impacted should the names come out. That is now gone. That's gone. It's utterly out there. I don't think it's ever coming back. This is over. This is going to be as, maybe they're going to shred the entire thing. I don't know. Ron, if you're a Hollywood celebrity that was involved in this, I guess you get away with it, right?
It's a very difficult to be a, let's just say a normie, a regular person walking around knowing that no matter what side of the aisle you may fall on, the people up there, the elites, they don't care at all. one way or the other. They don't care about the truth. They certainly don't want you to know the truth. And this just seems to be like one of the biggest cover-ups of all time. And I think everybody, like Marvin said, we're all united in disgust that this would be the case. As far as Hollywood is concerned, I don't know. Nobody knows truly who was involved and who's not involved. Fake lists have gone around and with names, and we don't know who we can trust. I have always said that, when people get enough money that regular things become boring to them, then they might try things that are not regular to regular people because they can afford to spend their money and indulge in ways that we would.
Ron, I wish that was eating blue lobsters, which are like 1 in a million and cost a ton of money, rather than doing things that are absolutely atrocious, evil, and of course criminal. By the way, Ducy from Fox News is not buying this for a minute. Let's go to Ducy now, who is going to be making the ratings and driving both sides mad. Here's Ducy, and then we'll bring on another panelist to weigh in on the situation and what Hollywood must be thinking now that there's no doubt they're free from the list ever coming out. Here we go.
Client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk.
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Go
ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars. They have an operation going on right now called Summer Heat, which has our murder rate trending in the lowest direction in United States history.
All right, and you get the idea. All right, let's bring on a guy who knows what he's talking about. Culture Casino is here. Culture, Hollywood's breathing a little easier right now. I'm not going to name off the celebrities that were suggested would be on this list because now you can't. Because if you say if you associate it with them now, there's officially from the government no list. So we got to be careful legally that we don't talk about it.
Yeah, I think you'll see the sigh of relief in a physical form of people returning to this country from others that they recently moved to for unknown reasons. Huh. So I think that's probably something we'll be able to monitor. I'll be very careful about how I talk about this. I'm also going to say nobody believes this.
Right. And this is, I think, and you tell me if I'm wrong about it, this is a new media moment because the question is the new media specifically part of a particular political movement, or is the new media a principled advancement of the people's agenda? And I think that if the people say we don't believe this, we're not going to accept this, then the new media, if it covers it that way, is going to succeed. And if not, it becomes part of the legacy media, just part of the opposition legacy.
Let me give you a suggestion. Watch the new media. Watch what's been happening on Twitter for, I don't know, going on 18 hours now, where everybody is just ganging up on the idea that this just is going to be disappeared. That is not what these people voted for. And the slogan of promises made, promises kept isn't going to stick around much longer. You have to notice that people like Robbie Starbuck are out there, talking about this and asking how people feel. You've got people sharing, lots of different things that have been said along the way during the course of this entire investigation. People pointing out the silence from political opponents on the Democratic side. You don't hear them screaming about the fact that, we're not getting to the bottom of something that was an awful piece of history that may have involved our government, most likely at this point, based on this cover-up. And look, that's how people are talking about it, as a cover-up, one of the worst ever. And we're not alone. I mean, you've got Tim Pool and many others out there talking about this. There's only 2 subjects in the news right now. Or 3, technically. One was the planned ambush of ICE agents, the other being the Superman movie. There's 3 subjects in the media right now. This is not going to go away. The new media, the new news cycle, the people that have done a lot of investigative work are going to continue to just unfold all of these stories that we've been covering for the better part of a decade now. And
Absolutely. And let me hop in real quick, Culture, and just say, too,
sure.
my deep concern here is that this encourages now this kind of behavior in the future, because if you are high enough up there, turns out even if the people vote for the opposite, you get away with it. We've got some more panelists I want to bring on right now. Hang tight, folks. Here they come.
Who could that be? Let's go see, boys and girls.
All right, we are joined now by Vash Sky. Vash, you're doing a show, and you actually stopped on over here to say, guys, I want in on this topic. What do you have, Vash?
I think this is absolutely despicable by this DOJ that has just let down so many people all over the country multiple times, but this is really the apex of it, I would think. And an embarrassment for Pam Bondi, for Kash Patel, and for Dan Bongino, who have talked about the release of this list for so long. Pam Bondi even saying, oh, there's multiple videos and so forth. We're going to put all this stuff together. We're going to go ahead and get it out there. And they're saying, well, no, there's no list anymore. Or just they didn't exist. Well, what did Kash Patel say in 2023 when he was talking to, I mean, he called out certain individual senators, congressmen, and officials and so forth, talking about how, well, they wouldn't, release the list because they're compromised and so forth. Do they have a right to sue him now? Because that's what it sounds like to me. I mean, it's absolutely despicable and atrocious what has happened right here. And I think you're right, Pro. I think it lets a lot of people off the hook, and maybe, in fact, encourages this behavior to continue from various areas of the elite. It's just this was hugely disappointing, and unfortunately, the Trump administration is destroying a lot of political capital in having these things go forward right here. We were just talking about the Diddy case, for example, and how, why did you have James Comey's daughter heading up that case? And why do you have various areas of the DOJ not doing their jobs and not doing what a lot of voters actually voted for, like getting rid of political actors within the DOJ that pursued many different people, including Trump himself, during that time period between during the Biden administration and former administrations, actually before even Trump. So it's just there's just a lot of stuff going on here that was very unfortunate to see for those that are justice oriented, let's say.
It's interesting. Of course, Elon did on his way out the door the last time. I don't know what the current status of that relationship is, although it does seem quite rocky. He indicated that Trump was on that list, and that's why it's not getting released. He said other things as well that seem very strange and dissonant, considering that Elon later walked those comments back. This is the mishandling with the influencers here, and at the time, I even defended some of them for maybe getting ahead of themselves here. This moment right here is going to be ammunition against this administration for a very long time. They have campaigned on things like this, and now they're not delivering on it in very public ways. It's making their political outsiders that they've put into the process look like they're politically incompetent.
Yes, and they are incompetent, I would say. This is incompetence because it's the only really reasoning for any of this existing, or at least that's the best reasoning. Because, like you said, Jonas, a lot of people did say, well, Trump's on that list, so that's why they didn't actually release it. Now to actually say no list, which was a complete 180 from what these same exact individuals have said before, it reeks of cover-up, and that's not what you want to have associated with this administration that's supposed to be bringing change. There's in that moment, by the way, with the binders, absolutely embarrassing, will forever be a stain within this administration's history right here. It's just there's a lot of political goodwill being burned in a very short period of time, and you just had to wonder why that is.
Well, the one thing that I've seen people say over and over and over again, and it's it's the ultimate what the heck is well, then why is Ghislaine Maxwell in jail if there were no clients? Why are they keeping her in jail? Obviously, they're keeping her in jail for a reason, because there are clients. Peanut the squirrel had more repercussions against him than a single person that worked with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yep. Yeah, it's a list full of famous people and powerful people. Just none of them you've ever heard of. Anyone that you've heard of automatically not on the list, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this too. There's a grassroots movement that's powering the new media. And that movement, part of why they wanted the list is, I mean, Epstein's gone. He's not going to be held to account, right? I mean, well, now, eternally, depending on your viewpoints, I hold that viewpoint. I think eternally you are held to account. But that said, why does the new media demand that the list be made public? Why is this grassroots movement demanding it that is then manifested on the internet? And the answer to that is, I believe that people wanted to see the establishment shaken to its core. Not the good establishments out there. There are great organizations out there. We're talking about the corrupt organizations which have gotten away with so much for so long. And I think that partly what the new media is about is seeing the internet made into what it could be, which is a vehicle for transparency against corruption across the world. And in this moment, the new media is rising up and saying, this is far, far below what we were told was going to be brought to us.
Well, I think, Pro, what we've all thought was, finally, we're going to see that no one is above the law, that the system that was designed to protect a certain class of people, these Hollywood elites and these business elites, that can get away with, literal murder and some of the worst crimes that a human being can commit on another crime and walk free, that those days are over, because now it's time for law and order and justice. And what we just saw, guys, there is no justice. The people that have been getting away with things for decades are still getting away with things, and nothing is going to happen to them.
Well, I don't want to go that far. There is justice, and the guy he was jailed eventually, and his partner in crime is going to be in jail. The full amount of justice and the full transparency that was promised is not going to happen. And many of those who, and this has been the story of history, we know this, right? Those who are in the most power, especially if they're interconnected, they have the least amount of chance of losing out to justice, because they have, the organized. I don't want to say that the world is driven by organized crime. That would be false. But there are some people out there in powerful positions who do things and get away with it. And I think that the longer and farther that the new media goes, the more we can reduce that. It's always going to be a problem. Power allows the corrupt to do things that the powerless simply can't do. But the new media, if it's aimed in the right direction, should greatly reduce it over time. All right, panel, final thoughts on this one before we go.
It's so important to hold whoever is in charge account for what is going on right here, because I had to agree with Marvin right here. There's just not as much justice as people, I think, we're looking to be satisfied to seeing. You have multiple victims out there talking about horrific incidents that happened to them. There's no justice for many of them. Epstein was only a one cog in this larger machine here that took place, and unfortunately, it's just we're just not going to, I guess, see that from this administration with these promises that were actually made during the campaigns and so forth. And that's most unfortunate. But as new media, I think it's most important to hold whoever is in power to account, no matter if you agree politically with them or not, because it's the only way we actually get the change that we are seeking, even if you happen to agree with those in power at the time.
Who knows? Maybe with enough outrage, we still get the light of day on the list. What do you think, Culture?
I think with enough not just outrage but demands for accountability at this point, because again, we were promised things. But what surprises me is all of a sudden in the last 2 hours, the hashtag Epstein or Epstein's list or any of these other things has fallen from 2 million or 2.1 million posts per hour to very few. I mean, right now you've got a bunch of garbage that is actually trending rather than anything important like this. And
I got to interrupt you, Culture, because guess what? Just as you're talking, Elon Musk has released this within the last 15 minutes, so maybe he's going to get it going again.
Just like
I really hope so, because this is absolutely disgusting. People are outraged, including me. And I if it's up to the new media to break and change the way news is reported. And that's a great bit right there. More squirrels and raccoons have been arrested. Yeah, true. I don't know what else to say other than, nobody believes this. The fact that there is such stone cold quiet on the Democrat side of the conversation. They don't want to draw attention to their pals, their friends, their buddies, their Hollywood, and the powerful elite. Again, what's to say that, this material is still, not being utilized to leverage certain people around the globe? I think somebody suggested that earlier today. I would like to add that's a distinct possibility that now that list is in different hands and the people who are controlling other people are doing it in a different way, maybe. But I would suggest that, whatever happened during the period of time between the transition should receive additional scrutiny. And I would say, make a deal with that lady, that Ghislaine chick, and get that list out for a pardon or something. Let's do that.
There you go. As ever, folks, we endeavor to have a good time here on the Pro Channel, and I have to say that spending time with you, talking about things that truly matter, like the stories that shape our lives and our culture, well, it is the ride of a lifetime to steal from Bob Iger. And that's the only thing we'll steal from Bob, because he has great security around his yacht. Folks, as we get ready to say goodbye, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, and stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment right on down below. Let us know your thoughts. We would love to hear from you. And folks, worry not, for more content is still on the way. 3 or 4 times a day. Let's do 4. I think that's better. And you know what? Don't forget that the Pro Show is live Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Eastern. You can also join us for our friends on That Park Place, our partner program. We have a good time there too. Folks, until the next time we get the opportunity to have a good time with you, keep learning, keep growing, and as ever, keep having fun.
Jump into the water! Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.